There we go. Let's get this frame looking good. All right, guys, good morning, good afternoon. If you're watching from somewhere else, maybe good evening, good night. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm sure that we have somebody on right now. It's probably Aaron, my boy Aaron. What's going on, bro? I know that's you. If it is, can you hear me? I'm going to pull this up on my phone. Yes. Who's excited? Let's go, dog. All right. Sorry, I'm a little bit late, guys. My wife was getting the kids out the door and it just never goes as planned. But I will be here. I'm always here and I will continue to be here forever because this is where this vehicle, Rank and Rent Digital Real Estate, is where I have put my eggs. This is the basket that I have put my eggs, and I am going to be using this vehicle to create my fortune, to build my empire. So you will, if you are somebody who's on here today and you decide that you're going to go try 15 other businesses over the next 5 years, very cool. That will make you appreciate this that much more, but I will still be here screaming at the computer in 5 years, every single Monday at 10 a.m. MST, every single Tuesday with my digital landlords program and my internal group there, and every single Wednesday inside of the Art of Pre-Selling. Guys, if you're not inside of the Art of Pre-Selling, the Facebook group, I would highly recommend you get in there. If you don't have a Facebook account, make one. And get in there. That is a place where we talk all things digital real estate as well, but it's a format where you can post your questions, you can interact, you can meet people. Our Facebook group, I think it has over 3,000 members. We have over 450 pending members right now. We don't accept everyone. We don't just let you in because you're a warm body or you have a Facebook account. We go through each and every one. If it looks suspicious, we're not letting you in. If it looks like you're there to waste our time or sell something, we're not letting you in. If you look like a bot, we're not letting you in. We want to keep that about one thing, that's about making money. So just a quick plug about the Art of Pre-Selling. And if you guys are not in that, then I would highly, highly recommend it. And some of you guys are probably coming to this show today from being in that and saw my post. Anyway, guys, welcome to the call. We got Aaron Vogler, as always, Sam Holmes. What's up, G? I know who you are. I know you are Aaron, Kurt Thomas. I recognize all these peeps. I love it, guys. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I've got a few things I want to cover really quick, and I've got something that I want to share today. And it's something that I wish somebody would have shared with me. And again, I think I said this last week, the way that I base these calls, I come up with the topics, to come up with the things that I'm gonna share, is I think about the questions that I had. What are the questions that I had when I was trying to build my agency, when I was trying to build my empire, and I didn't have a resource like myself. I didn't know anybody. Guys, I didn't, and I still don't know anybody that is doing $100,000 per month of strictly lead generation, of strictly rank and rent deals. I knew people that were supposedly doing big numbers, although they wouldn't show me tax returns, but were supposedly doing big numbers, but a lot of it was SEO, or maybe they started doing it and then they started like a HVAC company or whatever. And it was like everything combined was making that up, supposedly. I'm the only person I know. So it's nice to know myself. You know what I'm saying? No, but guys, I just wish that this resource had been something when I was doing this. It would have been super valuable to me. I'm thankful for all the resources that I did have, all the groups I was a part of and everything else. And so I'm not hating on that, but it would have been really good to have somebody that I would have wanted to trade places with, that I could have asked questions to, that I could have listened to a weekly live talking about what they've done, how they've built, what their thoughts on this niche and this time of year and that time of year, and building and hiring and scaling and systems and processes and all these different things. That would have been amazing. So that's what I'm trying to create here. And as always, guys, I'm doing this because I'm proving to you that giving results in advance, AKA giving customers what they are already looking for free, at least a sample of it for free, is actually the best and greatest way to sell anything. And the reason that I do this is because it allows people who have never heard of me, people who have never paid me $1 to come and enjoy and watch me scream for an hour every single week. And it costs you absolutely nothing. And my hope and my goal is that by coming to this call every week, you take a nugget, you take something that you wrote down that you had a thought of, and you implement it and you make money. Because if I can get you to make money, you are always going to associate my name with making money. And if you can always associate my name with making money, you will eventually buy whatever it is that I'm selling. So it's only a matter of time. And I'm not hiding that. I'm not trying to be weird or whatever. That is what I'm doing. That is my strategy, and it's working like crazy. And it's proof that the very thing that we're teaching inside of the group, inside of this YouTube channel, on my social media accounts, inside of Digital Landlords, my program, that strategy works, okay? And it almost eliminates having to sell at all. So that's why I'm on here. Today, I am going to share with you guys, guys, gals, I don't care where you're at. I'm going to be sharing 5 mistakes that I made that cost me I didn't say millions because it was cute to say millions, like actually cost me millions and millions and millions of dollars. Okay. And it's sickening on one hand to think, man, I lost so much money because I didn't know this, I didn't know that. But at the same time, me going through the pain of learning it has allowed me to make millions teaching it. So I can't be mad, but I am here to tell you guys that I'm going to share those things with you today. So really quick, before I get into that, let me see who else we got on. Aaron and Kurt, again, love seeing you guys on. Okay, Aaron says, can still hear you fine, but the mic is slightly choppy. Okay, let me know if that keeps being the case. It's not the mic. I actually don't have the mic. I need to write that down. I actually need to get my mic back. Hold on one second. I'm going to write that down. Thank you, Aaron, for the heads up. I have to get my adapter. My video guy has been using my adapter because he only had a MacBook Air until this weekend. Now he has an actual desktop. So I'm actually just using the computer audio. So I'll try to get a little closer and maybe that will help. But anyway, guys, I'm seeing myself in the screen. Welcome to the call. Welcome to Makin Hay with DRE. For those that are new, DRE stands for Digital Real Estate. My name is Nick Wood. I am the king, not one of many, the king of digital real estate. I'm the only person that I personally know or have heard of that makes $100,000 per month doing digital real estate, not selling a course, not doing some other bullshit, but actually doing the thing that they're teaching. And so because of that, I am the king. Okay, here's my crown. I gave it to myself. If no one else gives it to you, go fucking buy it yourself. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, let's talk about this really, really quick. Thank you guys for being on the call. If you have questions, ask them. If you have comments, comment. Any of your questions that you guys have, they help me immensely. Today, I was planning out my videos for the week, my YouTube videos, because I'm going to be dropping 7 videos. Guys, in addition to this, you're going to be getting 6 more pieces of content on this channel. If you're not subscribed, you're crazy. 6 more pieces of content on this channel, plus that many shorts. Stay subscribed. I promise you won't regret it. But I'm planning out my content, and I'm like, well, what should I say? What should I talk about? I'm like, I'm going to go look at the comments. I'm going to go look at the questions on YouTube, on Facebook. So guys, any comments, any questions you have, they do get read. They do get seen. They do get noted. I will be addressing those. So if you have a question, ask it. I see Sam Holmes asked something really quick. He says, one mistake I've already made was banking on one keyword. That is something I want to cover and that's actually something I'm going to talk about today. I did the exact same thing and dicked the whole thing up and built 125 sites I never should have built, ended up getting rid of them. So I'm going to talk about that. Great point, great question / point. I'm going to come to that. Guys, let's do this thing. I'm going to go in really quick, couple housekeeping items. Not really housekeeping items, more just things to think about. Okay. I like to ask a couple of rhetorical questions to get you guys thinking. Okay. But by the way, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Hold on. How sexy am I looking in this Versace robe? You guys want me to stand up? I want me to stand up. Okay. Look at this thing, guys. If you don't have a Versace robe, you can wake up and slip into like this thing. We got the little pockets here. We got the sash. Dude, look how clean this thing is, dog. I don't really like Versace. Not really my game. I'm more of a Gucci guy, but this robe slaps, man. If you guys don't have the Versace robe, it's a ridiculous price to buy one for the fact that it's just a robe, but my goodness, it makes you look good. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm saying, screw yourself. No, I'm kidding. I'm in the robe today. I wore it last week just on accident because I woke up, slipped it on, and I didn't even get a shower before the call. And I watched the video. I'm like, damn, dude, let's start rolling. I'm going to start using the robe. So I think this is just going to be like the new thing. I think we're going to do Makin Hay with Dre episodes in the robe. Okay. That's number one. Number two is I got the douche jug. Okay. If you guys don't got you a douche jug, start drinking more water. I'm going to be sipping from this occasionally. You see me sipping from the douche jug, hear a little whistle. That's me trying to get healthy. That's me trying to get in my water. That's me trying to get fit. Guys, I'm going to get jacked this year. That's the goal. I got fitness goals. I got financial goals. I got all of them. So if you see me sipping on this thing, it's because I'm trying to get in my water. This is only, I think, a half gallon. So, oh, wait, is this a gallon? I don't even know. I think I've been trying to drink 2 of these. Maybe I'm drinking 2 gallons. Anyway, just a couple of items. That wasn't even what I was going to say, but I had to call that out. Okay, guys, Rayan says, bro, flexing on us. Oh, 100%, bro. I'm not the guy that's going to go, oh, this is not a flex. I post and say, this is a flex. No, you guys, you got to get involved. You got to get involved. Okay, guys. Lastly, I have a little bit of a cough. Don't know why, but deal with it. Here's a couple of rhetorical questions I've been thinking, and I wanted to ask you guys. Number one, what have you done? I know I have some variation of this question, but every single week. But guys, last week, 7 days ago, I did a show. We talked literally 7 days ago, we talked for an hour. And I talked about what I would do if I was starting over tomorrow. Okay. And there was a bunch of people on. It was awesome. There was a lot of energy, good questions. It was awesome. What have you done, Sam? What have you done, Aaron? What have you done, Ryan? What have you done, Kurt, since last week to further your business? What needle moving activities? Guys, what are the things? This is the first thing you got to figure out. What are the things that move the needle? What are your goals and what are the things that are going to get you to that needle? And if you are not actively every single day doing things that are going to move the needle, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. And I would encourage you, if it's up to getting on this show or doing something needle moving, get off of this show and go do something that moves the needle. Go pick up the phone and go get a business owner on the hook. Go do that due diligence to figure out that city and that niche. Go and do something that's going to move the needle. Do something every day that's going to move the needle. And you do that enough days in a row, and you're going to start seeing the momentum start to build. And then you're going to see the money come in, and you're going to get that first deal, $500 a month. Then the next one, $750. Then you got the confidence, you go for the $1,500 deal. Now you're making over $2.5, $3,000 a month. Holy shit, this is a real thing. This business model works. Nick wasn't lying. Okay, I'm going to go for $2,000 a month deals. I got to get a guys, it's about doing something every day that moves the needle. So my question for you rhetorically is, what have you done in the last 7 days that has moved the needle? Okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today because it's one of the mistakes I made, which was not doing needle moving activities. I'm going to share some version of that. Okay. So some of you guys, that was probably just getting started. Some of you guys, excuse me, some of you guys had to commit and say, hey, I'm done looking at 17 businesses. I'm done considering drop shipping and FBA and what's the, I mean, I don't even know. There's so many and print on demand. I'm done with those and I'm starting this. And this week I'm going to do X. Some of you guys, that was the game. Some of you guys, moving the needle was picking up the phone and actually calling a business owner. And I know it's scary. This little device here that has no freaking feelings is so scary. I get it. Okay, I really do. I'm making a joke right now, but guys, I know how scary it can be to make phone calls when you've never done it. I remember so vividly the very first day I went and knocked door to door. I remember going to get a sandwich at Subway at lunch and not being hungry, and then feeling sick and having to go to the bathroom and literally making myself sick. I remember feeling nauseous driving to the neighborhood and thinking, oh my gosh, this is it. And I remember how scary it was going and knocking that first door and knowing, okay, I know what to say, but I have no idea. And the doubts and I get it. But guess what? We don't have to go knock doors. We don't have to even look people in the eyes. You can close your eyes and cuddle in a blanket if you want. You just have to pick up this phone and you have to start calling people. But here's what I'm going to say is this, is I know it's scary. I know it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a lot uncomfortable. I know it probably makes you lose a little bit of sleep. Maybe you're losing a little bit of weight. But let me tell you what, doing that and going through that pain and that discomfort is a hell of a lot better than being broke. Okay. It's a hell of a lot better than having to tell your kids, hey, we can't do the vacation. We're not going to be able to join grandma at Disneyland this year because dad doesn't have the money or mom doesn't have the money. It beats having to look your kids in the eyes and tell them, hey, I can't afford for you to do the lessons that you want to do, the piano lessons or the singing lessons or the jujitsu lessons or whatever it is. I'm telling you, a little bit of discomfort on the phone, I'll go through that all day of the fucking week if it means I can get to the money that I want to get to and be able to take care of my family and be able to take care of those that I care about and be able to provide and be able to have experiences and go and achieve my goals and my dreams. So, my friends, I know it's a little bit scary sometimes, especially picking up the phone, but I'll ask you this, is when you're going to change something? When are you going to do something different? Because if you haven't picked up the phone for the last year and you're broke, then maybe it's time you try that, okay? And I know it's scary. Get used to doing scary shit. That's how you make money. That's how you go and do things. You do things that other people are not willing to do. That's how you get ahead. And I'll tell you a little secret. 99.99999% of people, they wouldn't even think about picking up the phone and calling a business owner. And if you really think about it, that's ridiculous. You're calling another human being and you're having a simple conversation and you're actually offering them the thing that they're already paying for. It shouldn't be scary. You got to get in the right mindset. But guys, do something every single day that moves the needle. And guys, I heard this, 10 years ago. I know it's cliche, but people that think they do the same thing every single day and every single year, and they magically think something's going to change, right? We all have friends, we all have family that are like that. Maybe we are like that, right? Whoa. Excuse me. It's easy to see in other people, but sometimes we forget we're the ones that are doing the same shit every day. We're the ones that are waking up and choosing comfort. We're the ones that are waking up and instead of picking up the phone, we're going to go and watch one more video on backlinking, or we're going to go watch one more thing on VAs, or we're going to go put it down and go to work. Okay. Guys, let's freaking do this. I'm stoked. This is a fun topic. This is something it's fun to talk about now because I've made the money back and it's worth it now. But man, these are mistakes I'm going to talk about today that are things you definitely want to consider. Okay, let me just pull this up really quick. Let me pull up the stream, see what we got here. Kurt says, I know this is a recession-proof business model. I never heard anyone talk about recession-proof niches. That's something I'm going to talk about this week in one of my videos, just so you know. Okay, Aaron says he's got a Zoom close schedule tonight for a new concrete guy. Love it. Guys, thanks for being on the call. Let's do this. Okay, let me get my notes up. Man, what is going on with this cough? I know what it is. It's called kids, man. Kids, they're going to daycare. They're going to the gym daycare. They're going to school, and you just grab everything. But you know what? It is what it is. It's part of life, and I'm still showing up, and I got a little cough. I'm still showing up. So, guys, 5 mistakes. 5 rank and rent mistakes that have cost me millions and millions of dollars. Guys, pull out a pen, pull out one of these freaking yellow pads or whatever it is. I would encourage you to do it on something, not your phone, so you're not going to be distracted. Let's lock in for the next 33 to 40 minutes and let's get after this. Guys, I'm going to be dropping some bombs, some nuggets, some gems on you guys things that have cost me millions and millions of dollars that I either did or did not do that you can learn from and avoid if you so choose. Okay. Now, I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to think through it logically. I'm asking you to be intuitive about this. I hate when people say, just trust me on this. No, don't trust me. Don't trust the next guy or the next girl. Don't trust anybody. Test everything, try everything. And the people that say to trust them and don't test it or don't question them, that's a red flag. Okay, guys, let's go into this. I got 5 things I want to cover, and I'm going to be sharing the things, and I'm also going to be kind of, going a little deeper on each one of these items as I go into it. Okay, so here are the 5 things, guys. For those that are new, maybe all 2 of you that are brand new on this call today. Excuse me. I have been doing rank and rent lead generation. I started doing it in 2016, had a weird little hiatus where I tried to go build a software company, didn't work, failed miserably, got back into the digital world, but I had to get into SEO because I had 0 money. And quite frankly, I didn't even know if this model was that viable because I didn't know anyone making real money doing it. Everyone I knew doing it was selling the course that they bought, or they were doing SEO. They weren't actually doing lead gen. So I was doubtful. Got back into SEO to pay the bills. A year later, found myself in $60,000 in debt, had a little bit of pay per lead, but no flat fee, and just not sure what my next move was. In 2019, I made a hard decision and I said, this is the model. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get the flat fee down. I'm going to figure out how to pre-sell, and I'm going to run this baby up. And in 2020, we went from $8,000 to $10,000 of SEO. I say 8 to 10,000 because it fluctuated so damn much. And that's the game with SEO. And any of you that are doing SEO right now, and you think you're going to build a massive company and you think you're making the right move and we're the suckers, you guys are wrong. And just wait, your time is coming. I promise you, SEO has a shelf life. I don't care how good your relationship is with your customers, how good your soft touches are, they will eventually cancel because it's structured wrong. You don't own anything. You don't have any control. You don't own the asset. So my friends that are in SEO that are watching this or will watch this, beware, your time is ticking. And if I were you, I would take the profits that you have and I would start building assets. Those same clients that are paying you for SEO will also pay you for leads. Go build assets, go build lead gen sites, go build digital properties that you can then secure and anchor those clients down. But those SEO clients that are so secure, I don't care if it's tomorrow, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, every one of them will eventually cancel. Mark my words. And by the way, my guy, Isaac, when you watch this, let's cut this clip and let's save it so I can be right here in a few years. I've been doing this for a long time. We went from 8 to 10 to 7 figures that year in 2020. 2021, we did 1.5 million. And in 2022, I'm just finalizing the taxes, but we more than doubled what we did in 2021. So it's been a hell of a ride, guys. I went from making nothing, I went from knocking doors to being broke to $60,000 in debt to making millions of dollars, buying real estate, literally out here playing real life Monopoly. Here's the mistakes that I made, not in any particular order, but as they came into my mind. Okay. So let me get the juice jug and let's do this thing. A little cough. All right, guys. Mistake number one. Mistake number one that I made that I regret more than anything. It's one of the top 5 mistakes I made. Okay. And that is I did not go all in on the business model soon enough. Okay. I eventually went all in 2020. I went all in, baby. I got rid of the SEO. I got rid of everything. I went all in 2020, but I didn't do it quick enough. And here's what happened is I bought my first program. I bought a program back in 2016 and I started watching the videos and I started, picking niches and I started building some sites. And guess what? I made money. The saddest part about my whole story is I actually, with no sales process, with limited teachings, I went out and made money. I proved the business model in the first couple months without even anyone really showing me what to do on the sales side. And I made the first deal. And my first deal I did, it was like $700 a month. It was a towing guy. And then lo and behold, a couple months later, I did another deal. So guys, before I even quit my regular job, my door knocking job, I had 2 deals. I had 2 deals under my belt. I knew this worked. But guess what I did? I got too cute. I got too good for this business model. And as sad as this is to announce, and as sad as this is to admit, do you want to know what the thought process I had? And some of you guys that are young might be having the same thought process. And I'm going to hopefully help a couple of you guys and knock you on the head and have you just not make this mistake. But guys, when I sat there, and the reason I started this software company, and even though I was making money, cash, I was making cold hard cash from rank and rent. It's like, why would you go start a software company, you idiot? And straight up, like, no, this is completely the truth, and it's embarrassing. But I literally thought it sounded cooler. It sounded more professional. It sounded like a bigger flex to tell people I had a software company. I'm not kidding you. I made the decision to pause rank and rent, to pause digital marketing, because I thought when somebody asked me what I did for work, it sounded stupid. It sounded lame. It sounded just kind of vanilla to tell them I did lead generation. Can you believe that? That's the very reason. So guess what? In 2016, I made some money and I paused. And until 2017, July, I think it was July 31st, maybe July 30th. I think it was 31st. I chased and tried to build a software company, and not only didn't make money, but lost thousands of dollars and got myself in a real pickle. Okay. All because I got too cool. So I don't care if it's because you don't think this sounds like a cool thing to tell people, or if you think that there's other things out there that are more sexy, whatever it is. I didn't go all in quick enough. I did what you call half pregnant. I did the dabble. I did the dabble, baby. I was trying to, okay, I'll do a little bit of this, but I'm still doing door-to-door sales, and I'm going to start build a software company, and then I'm doing this. And it's like, guys, if I would have just, I can't even imagine where I would be at today if in 2016 May I had said, I'm not doing software company, I'm not doing this other bullshit. I am going to do this. I'm going to give it a fair shot. And I had went all in, and I had committed and said, I'm going to figure this out. I don't care if it takes me a year. I don't care if it takes me 6 months. I don't care if it takes me 5 years. I don't care if it takes me 10 years. I am going to figure this out, and I'm going to go all in. I'm going to remove all distractions. If I had done that in 2016, holy shit, I have no idea where I'd be today, but it would be a lot further along than I am today. Okay. Number one thing that came to my mind as I started jotting these things down, the biggest mistakes that I have made is I didn't go all in soon enough. And I know some of you guys, you like the model, you're sold on the model, you think it's interesting, you think it's cool, it's something that you might be something you're gonna do. But I would highly encourage you to go all in on the business model and give it a fair shake. And don't say I'm going to do it for a month and then we're going to see where we're at. Don't even say I'm going to do it for a year. Commit and say, look, if Nick in his freaking Versace robe looking like an absolute jackass can figure this out, I can figure this out. If Nick with his college dropout and questionable high school degree, okay, can figure this out, who says bro every 10 words, can do this, I can do this. Okay. But you got to go all in. You got to commit. You got to be willing to give this and say, hey, I don't care. I'm going to treat every day. I say this frequently. Treat every day like it could be the last day, like this is your last day to make money, but be okay be at peace with the fact that this might take 10 years. And that's how I am, guys. I don't care how long it takes me to build this. I don't care how long it takes me to get to $100 million net worth, which is my next goal. I don't care how long it takes me to get to $1 million a month, which is my next immediate goal. I'm treating every day like it's my last day to do the proper things to get there. But guess what? If it takes me 10 more years to get to $100 million net worth, or 20 more years, I will still be doing this. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. I'm at peace with that. And I'm not going to slack off because I'm telling myself I have time. I'm treating it like I don't have time, but I'm okay if it doesn't happen overnight. And that's the reason why I'm going to win. Okay. Because there's people out there that are in my space. There's people out there that maybe have a YouTube channel, or maybe they're teaching digital real estate or rank and rent or whatever. And they just want to make money. They just want to make it fast. And they're looking at, if this doesn't work, they're going to try it for a year. They're going to go do some other program. And the difference is, I don't give a shit how long this takes. I do not care. I'm going to keep banging at this. I'm going to keep studying this. I'm going to keep obsessing over this. I'm going to learn all the nuances of this. And because of that, that's why I'm going to win. And you guys, if you want to be successful, if you really want to do this for real, you need to be the same. You need to give this a fair shake and go all in on this. Not for a month, not for 6 months, not for a year. You need to mentally be in for good, okay? Because the business model does work. And you've seen tons and tons and tons of people that have made so much money on this business model. And I know I see comments here and there. Well, what happens if Google does this and Google does that? Go watch my videos. I explain all of that. If you have a question, or if you have a doubt about this business model, trust me, I've had the same question or the same doubt. Mistake number one that I made was not going all in. And if you are in that position or you can relate to that, I would highly consider and highly, highly recommend that whatever you got to do, whatever that looks like for you, go all in on this shit. Okay, that's number one. Number two, by the way, if you guys have questions as I'm going through this, I'm not really paying attention to the questions right now, but I will at the end. Okay. Number two. My number two mistake that I made was not focusing on sales, okay? Not focusing on sales, but instead, which is, I've heard this so many times, I was one of you guys and I thought, man, I'm pretty good at sales. I'm pretty good. I'm doing door-to-door sales. I got the sales side down. If I could just learn to build the guys, I know some of you guys are going, oh, that's me. I remember thinking, if I could just build the website and I could figure out how to get leads, I'd kill it, man, because I'm good at sales. I know I'm good at sales. Guys, there is a difference between selling a shoe at a store or selling a supplement at a store or selling a home security system at a door and selling a digital service that is literally an idea. You're literally selling information, right? There is a huge difference. And I don't care how much sales experience. I don't care if you've been in real estate, you've sold some whatever many houses, or you're right now you're selling electrical equipment. Or maybe you're a business owner and you're like, I'm good. I'm an HVAC contractor and I'm slinging change outs, man. I'm good. You don't know what you don't know. And this shit will knock you on your ass. Focus on the sales. Quit worrying and thinking that if I just learn to build a website, I'm going to be good. You know what my group, the Facebook group, the Art of Pre-Selling, art-of-preselling.com is made up of 3.4 thousand people. Probably could be a lot more. I could turn that into 3.8 thousand immediately if I wanted to approve everyone, but I'm not. There's over 3,000 people in that group. And guess what? I'd say 2/3, at least half, maybe 2/3, have already been in this business for some period of time. They've already bought a program. They've already been doing this for a number of months or another number of years. And they found my group and went, shit, I can pre-sell this? And it's made up of a bunch of people who bought a course on Udemy or bought a course from some other schmuck. And guess what? They have sites that are producing leads and they have these domains that are costing them money and they are not making money. They do not have customers. And you know what that is? That's a hobby. That is not a business. So my friends, quit focusing on the things that don't make you money. Okay. Quit focusing on those things. You don't need, if you're sitting here going, I don't know how to build a website. Good. 6 years ago, I didn't even know what a domain was. 6 years ago, I had no idea what a backlink was. 6 years ago, I didn't know what GoDaddy or HostGator or any of these things were. 6 years ago, I was just a kid knocking doors, trying to make a buck, man. And here we are, I guess it's 6.5 years, 6 and some change, making millions of dollars. And shit, man, I barely still know how to build a website. I'm using Weebly to build my websites. And I'm not even building them. I'm having somebody else build them that I train who doesn't even speak English as their first language. Quit worrying about the tech. Quit being so stressed about, I got to learn this and I got to be. You don't, man. The people that make the most money in this business are the people that spend every waking second thinking about how they're going to get the next deal, and they focus on getting the sale. Doesn't mean you need sales experience. It means you need to have your focus on getting better at sales, on getting the deal, on the deal structure, on talking to clients. That's where your focus needs to be if you're in this to make money. Now, maybe some of you guys are just in there as this is just a hobby. You're just interested in the model. Cool. Then go learn all of it. But if you're here to make money, and you're tired of your bullshit job, you're tired of somebody telling you when you can take a shit, okay? and probably telling you how many times you can wipe, because if they're telling you how long your actual shit should take, that technically means they're telling you how many times you can wipe. But anyway, if you're tired of that and you're like, hey, I'm sick of this, man. I'm sick of having to tell my kids no. I'm sick of telling my wife or my husband no. I'm sick of having to tell my buddies no. I'm sick of not being able to travel because I don't have money or because I can't get time off. Maybe it's time to try something different. Okay. And I'm telling you that I could probably say might be the single greatest of all the ones I'm going to share today, might be the greatest mistake of all. And I was mistaken because I thought, hey, I'm good at sales. I got sales experience. I'm good. What I didn't know was if I wasn't careful, I was going to have 15, 20, 30, 40 websites producing leads and not have a damn dollar coming in, because there's a difference, my friends, between selling flat fee pre-sold lead generation deals and selling whatever the hell else you've sold in your life. And it is a freaking art. And there's a reason the group is called the art of pre-selling. It is an art that I have been perfecting for the past 6.5 years in this space, and for the past 10 years as I've been selling in general. So my friend, number two mistake that I made that literally has cost me millions of dollars is I got into this business and I spent all my time trying to learn the tech because I thought I had sales experience. And guys, me and Kyle, shout out to Cowboy Kyle. We hear this all the time. We get an application for somebody that wants to join Digital Landlords. We jumped on the phone with them. We talked to them and they're like, yeah, I'm good, man. Sales is my strong suit. Dude, you have no idea. Sales is your strong suit. You know what we tell them? We say, guess what? This program that this Digital Landlords thing, we're going to teach you how to make money by getting the deal. It sounds like you got it covered. So good luck. And we turn them loose, cut them loose, let them go on their own. And guess what? We have people that come back every single week. In fact, we got a call today at 5, somebody who knew sales that realized they didn't know sales. Okay. So that was my second biggest mistake that I made. Number 3. This is one that's really going to hit home with a lot of you guys. Let me just really quick before I jump into that. Let me see what we got here. Let's see. All right, let's do this thing. Here we go. Guys, I love seeing the comments. I love seeing the questions. Keep asking them. Let's go. All right, number 3, guys. Number 3 mistake that I made with Rank and Rent was having shiny object syndrome within the business itself. What do I mean by that? That means I got in this business and I started offering 15 different services. I got in this business to build assets, to build tow truck websites, to build concrete websites, to build stucco websites, to build whatever. I got in to do that and to rent them out and to control the assets and to play the rich dad, poor dad game, but do it online. Great book, by the way. Okay. That's why I did it. And guess what? Within a couple of years, I found myself with this conglomerate of bullshit services doing SEO, which is the most unscalable business out there, social media management, consulting, swag, selling freaking t-shirts. What other bullshit thing did I do? Facebook leads. Guys, software, I went down the high level, offers the white labeled SaaS. You could resell it. Guess what? Whoever owns high level, I know your name. I think it's Sean. You're smart. You're a smart guy. You're very smart because you had me taking my time and my energy thinking I'm going to go make a bunch of money on someone else's software. And that was another, I'm going to sell high level. And then one of my buddies had a software. I'm like, let's sell that. Guys, at one point, I had like 8 different services, okay? 8 services, man. And I was making nothing. This is what's so interesting. The time when I was offering the most services was the exact time I was making the least amount of money. And I hope that cuts one of you or a multiple of you deep, because some of you guys have these agencies and you're proud of the fact that you offer this and you offer this and you offer this. And that right there is the reason that you're not making more money. That is the reason why you are not making more money. And have you ever considered, what if you got rid of all the services but one and you became the best at that service and you learned everything about that service and you got the scripts down and you learned the niches that you were going to go into and you learned how to scale and you branded your company as that? Imagine that. You can't do it for 8 different services. You can't be the best at 8 different services unless you're Elon Musk. Okay. that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made is I offered service after service after service. And guys, I was getting this advice. And I'm going to be honest, like I got this advice from somebody, and I truly believe the person that gave it to me, they were trying to help me and other people make money. The scary part about that, right, is when you are adding other services, it's the same thing as starting another business, right? You're doing rank and rent and it's a little tough. And you're like, I'm going to go start this other thing. It feels like you're doing something. And so it gives you that like dopamine, like I'm moving towards my shit. But really, if you just focused and got through that hard thing, maybe it's sales, maybe it's picking the right niche and city, maybe it's hiring, whatever that issue is in your business that you feel like kind of stalling you. But if you just double down on that thing and figure that out instead of going and chasing another business or another service, you would make so much more money. But the problem is, and this is what I was doing as I look back on it, is every time I started a new service, or it was basically a new business within the business, it made me in my head get that dopamine rush of like, oh, we're offering another service. And I remember I had like 10 clients at one point, or 8 clients. And I was like, well, I don't really know the sales process that well. I've kind of just stumbled into these clients. But what if instead of focusing on getting more clients, why don't I just go like sell them all the other stuff that they're already buying? Like they got to be buying t-shirts, and they got to be buying, whatever these different services they got social media. And I was like, man, if I could just get another $1,000 a month. And I get it. I get the attractiveness of that thinking, but it's not scalable. Okay. Going and managing somebody's Facebook page is not a scalable business model. So guys, pick a service. And I hope I don't need to come out and say that the greatest of all the services within digital marketing is the rank and rent service. And that is the one thing that has assets. It is the one thing that allows you total and complete control. It is the most scalable. It is the thing you can do from anywhere. Okay. It is the thing that's going to allow you to have the lowest attrition and talk with your clients the least, have the least soft touches and the least headache and the least phone calls. Okay. So I hope I don't have to, but I'm going to. I would recommend rank and rent lead generation being that service, and get rid of all of them. In 2019, at the end of it, when I decided to go all in, that's exactly what I did. I went and I didn't just get rid of my SEO. I was smart. I said, let's go find somebody that's good at SEO. And I had a guy that was working for me. It was a buddy of mine. He was good at SEO. I taught him how to do it. And I said, dude, what do you think about starting your own company? And I'll take all of our SEO clients, I'll push them to you. We'll sign them under your company. You give me X percentage. You deal with the client. You deal with the bullshit. I'll sign them. Because I knew I was going to get SEO deals, but I wasn't going to chase them. But I didn't want to spend my time. So then what happened is during 2020, as I started freaking scaling up my lead gen, had to have people go, hey, you're crushing it, man. Can you do my SEO? I say, you know what? I actually can. I have a sister company. And I go through the pitch. I'd spend an hour, 2 hours, sign the deal, boom, 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 send it to my buddy. And I would make money and guys, I still get a check every single month from my buddy from clients that we signed in 2020. Okay. So that's what I would highly, strongly encourage you and recommend, is that you pick that service, and maybe go prove me wrong. Go show me that SEO is more scalable. Excuse me. Go scale the SEO agency and you show me that it's more scalable. But at the end of it, if you find your way at 100K, which I'm going to send you something crazy if you can get to 100K in SEO. I want to look at your schedule. I want to look at your day. I want to look at your stress level compared to mine at 100K of lead generation, and we'll compare. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4. Okay. This is something that I always talk about, but I need to stress on it again. But I did not put the proper importance and focus on picking the right city and the niche. I naively assumed that it was about building more sites, getting more of these things up, doing more, which once you have it dialed in, once you figured out your process, once you've dialed in your formula, yes, but you got to, I think there's a book called Nail It and Scale It. I think that's kind of the same concept. Is I didn't have my due diligence process nailed down. I didn't know that I needed to pay attention to the cost per click. I didn't know, coming back to Sam Holmes asked about keywords, I didn't know I needed to look at 5 keywords. That's the answer to your question, Sam. You need to be looking at the top 5 keywords, not just one. I didn't know I needed to look at multiple keywords. I didn't know I needed to look at people's stuff in the maps and then their organic and their backlinks. I didn't know these different things. I didn't know if there's a national competitor that can change things. And so because of that, I just took one keyword, I smashed it into Google, and if it looked decent, which I didn't really know, I didn't ask enough questions, I was like, let's build it, baby. Let's build this bitch. And I built the first 30 websites on my own, all of it. Every single stitch of content, every single stitch of SEO was me. Every backlink was me. And I built 30 of them. And then I built another 100 of them because I was like, I'm going to scale this thing up. But I didn't have my due diligence process. I didn't know what a good niche looked like. I didn't know what a good city looked like. And I didn't know what the combination of the two looked like. I took people's advice that were not in the game. I took people's advice who I should have checked and said, hey, that's cool advice, bruh. That's cool advice, ma'am. But let me see your tax statement. Let me see your Stripe account before I listen to this advice you're giving me. And I would see a post. I go, that's good advice. Not thinking that person might be full of shit. That person actually might not be making near the money that they're pretending to make or that they're getting us to think that they're making. Okay. Number 4, again, to repeat, is make sure that I did not put enough emphasis on picking the right city and niche. Okay. The same example that I use every time. Let me give you this example. Okay. In real estate, but like actual real estate, we're talking about physical real estate, not just digital. There's a saying, and the saying is you make your money in the buy, not the sell. Everybody thinks that you just go buy a house and then you sell it for some crazy amount, you make money. But actually, the key is you make your money when you buy the house. Okay, let's just use a house. And I've used this before, so it's redundant, deal with it. Let's say a house is worth $500,000 market value. You find this house, this guy, let's say he's getting a divorce or she's getting a divorce and they just got to get out of it. They got to liquidate, they got to pay some stuff off. You come in and you say, look, I can give you $450K. I'll have it closed by the end of the week or I'll pay cash, whatever. Done. You just made your 50K. You are almost guaranteed to make 50K because even if you turned around and sell that house in a year and you sell it for just what it's worth, you're going to make the money, right? Why am I sharing this? Because similarly, if you do not figure out how to pick the right city in the niche, you're going to go and you're going to get the site up and you're going to get the client and you're going to go, oh shit, the CPC is way higher than it should be. Oh shit. The SEO is going to be way more competitive and you're going to spend the next 16, 18, 24 months trying to rank that website. And you could have just spent another week picking the right city and niche. And you could have done 3 months of SEO, had low CPC and made a hell of a lot more money. And guys, I can't remember who I heard this from. The make your money in the buy, not the sell. But this is I've heard this and I literally went and looked at a house this last Saturday. And I was just on Zillow last week and I saw this really sick house. And I went and I was like, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll lowball this person. And I went and checked this thing out, listed for some ridiculous amount. And as much as I'm like, dude, that house will be sick. It'll be such a dope spot. I want to buy it. I found out by talking to the agent, he's like, dude, he's not going to come below like 3.5. It was some stupid number. And the cost per square foot was like $400. I'm like, dude, that's ridiculous. And I said to him, when he's ready to do a decent deal, then we'll talk. But I'm not going to buy it at a bad price because, and they say this in real estate, they say, marry the mortgage, date the rate, right? It's the same thing in digital. If you go into the wrong city and niche, you are going to struggle forever. You are never going to be able to change the cost per click. You are never going to be able to change how competitive that city is. I made a huge error in not nailing down my niche and city combination. And because of that, I built literally hundreds of websites in the wrong niches and in the wrong cities and in the combination of both of those, the wrong city and niche. And I ended up with a bag of sites with $10,000 a month in overhead that these sites were never going to rank. And even if they did, I was better off just going and building another concrete site in some teeny ass town and making the same money. I stress on this a lot. I talk about this a lot. In my program, my first module is literally called Looking for Layups. It is the first thing we talk about, picking the right city, picking the right niche, and the telltale signs, how to pick that perfect niche. And I think it's the longest module. I didn't even know this until I built the course. I'm like, shit, dude, that's the longest module. And I realized it's because that is where it starts. You mess that up, you mess everything up. Make sure you put the focus on that and don't just go rip up a website just so you can get started. Getting started might be spending the next week picking the right city and niche, but you also need to know what you're looking for. And that comes with experience, time, or a combination of both. Okay. Number 5. Okay. And this one is obvious now because you guys know what I do. But number five of the biggest mistakes that I made that it cost me millions is I did not use other people's money, OPM, to build my empire. Okay. I figured this out too late. I didn't figure this out till 2020, AKA pre-selling. I didn't know that there was a way that I could go and I could build my assets that pay me every month with somebody else's money. And at the beginning, when I started my business, when I bought my first program and they told me to, write down my goals, I started calculating, okay, what does a website cost? Okay, it costs $600 to build, $200 to build, whatever it is, that, and how many of these are going to actually work? And what can I expect as the average amount to make? So I built this whole, what do they call those things? What do they call those things when you have like that you have like the spreadsheet and you plug in the different numbers. I didn't know that there's another alternative, which is called using other people's money. I didn't know there was a way you could literally go and pre-sell the idea without even buying a domain. And you could get somebody to give you a credit card with a 6-month contract or a 12-month contract or a 3-month contract. And you could use their money to build your assets and get paid the entire time. Guys, every time I say that out loud and I explain that you can actually do that, it makes me chuckle because it's so stupid and it makes no sense, but it makes all the sense in the world. And if I had known how to pre-sell, if someone had taught me how to pre-sell the way that I teach people how to pre-sell today, I'd be making so much damn money because I didn't figure this out until 2020. And that is the very reason that I was able to scale. Guys, if you're not pre-selling, if you're not using other people's money, it is going to be very difficult to scale because you are always going to be at the mercy of the budget that you have. And you might not have the budget to go build 100, 150 sites and wait for them to rank and pay the hosting and pay the tracking number and pay all these things while you wait and hope that they work. And that's fine because guess what? You can pre-sell. And instead of saying, hey, if I build 10, hopefully 6 of them work or hopefully 4 of them work, you can build 10 and all 10 are going to work because you ain't going to build them until you have a credit card on file, until you have a contract in place and you have a commitment from the business owner. Okay. So number one mistake was not going all in quick enough. Number 2 was not focusing on sales. Number 3 was starting too many services and having shiny object syndrome within the business itself. Number 4 was not putting enough emphasis and my focus on the niche and city selection. And number 5 was not using other people's money, AKA not pre-selling, and instead doing it the old-fashioned way, using my own money and waiting until they rank. And then, it's crazy, guys. Just because something ranks doesn't mean you're going to sell it. That's what people don't realize. They go, well, once this ranks, you don't even know if you pick the right niche and city. What if you rank your website that you've been spending the last 4 months waiting to rank and it ranks and all of a sudden you're getting leads and there's nobody in your city that gives a shit about your leads? You just wasted 6 months of your life. I think we naively assume just because it ranks, it's going to sell. That is not the case, man. I guarantee you go out to take a poll inside of the Facebook group and say, how many people here have sites that are producing leads they haven't sold in over 6 months? You'd have 100+ people, maybe more, that can say yes to that. Okay. So those are the 5 things, guys. Those are the things that if I had done, I would make $1 million. And I have a bonus one. This is the one I want to end with. This is the one that I think doesn't even, it stands in its own category. It's in its own league, and it is without question. This is probably not what you're expecting, but I'm going to share one last one. This is the number one mistake I made. Okay. Those are the 5 mistakes, the 5 rank and rant mistakes that I made that literally came to my mind. But if I were I could talk about what I'm about to share, and I might do an entire stream on this, entire show on this. But the very number one thing on top, above all 5 of those things that I just shared, I guess a bonus, if you will, but it's actually the main one. The number one thing that the number one mistake, and the reason I didn't include it in the original 5, because this is bigger than just rank and rent. But the number one mistake that I actually made outside of these things was not thinking big enough. Let that sink in. Out of all those things I've done wrong, out of all the money that I've lost from doing those things wrong that I just shared, the number one thing above all those was not thinking big enough. Because what I realized is I had this goal, this goal of $100,000 a month. And it was such this like mind-blowing goal. And it was in my head from the time I started, and I heard that, like, I don't even know, it was years and years. I'm like, I want to make 100,000. And that was my goal. And that $100,000 a month number was the reason I did not quit on this business model, because this business model was the only thing I could see as being the way to get there. Okay. I knew I couldn't do it selling for somebody else. I knew I couldn't do it just being a salesperson. Right. And I sure as hell wasn't going to do it as a 9 to 5. And it needed to be asset-based, all those things. So I'm like, this is the business model. And if it weren't for that $100,000 a month goal, I never would have stuck this out. But here's what's interesting is at the end of 2020, I didn't even know that I hit 7 figures. I knew we had got to $100,000 a month by July. I didn't even know we hit 7 figures. And in 2021, as I started to kind of like just look back, I'm like, dude, we crushed it. We crushed it last year. We crushed it. And I thought to myself, why didn't I just have a bigger goal? I thought, what if my goal in 2020 had been to do 180? What if my goal had been to do 200K? What if my goal had been to do 300K a month? Maybe I would have hit it. And the crazy part is, guys, something you guys really need to just take some time and think about is those goals that you think are so big and so like out there. The question is, if you hit it, are you going to wish that you'd set it bigger? Are you going to be satisfied with the number if you do actually hit it? Because guess what? You're going to hit it. If you keep doing the things that I'm sharing, if you keep plugging away and you consistently do needle moving activities, it's going to shock you, but you're going to hit goals. You're going to hit the goals you set out. We have a guy in our group. His name's William. He's in Australia. He used to be a teacher. His whole story started with like a sabbatical, and he started doing this, and he joined my program like the first of last year. And he set a goal for $20,000 per month. And he texted me this text. I don't have my phone right here, but I don't have time, but he sent me this text. He sent me this voice text. And he said, I was coming back from Vegas. This was mid-December. And he's like, Nick, I just want to thank you, man. I hit the 20,000. And you could tell, dude, he was like almost to the point of like getting emotional, because he set that goal. I know that I got him hyped up, and he set this goal of 20,000, but I don't think he really thought he was going to hit it. Number one mistake that I've made in my entire life, and that's for rank and rent, but in general, is not thinking big enough. And sometimes because we've been in a 9 to 5, or because we've been in these other business models where we have all of these things that are holding us back, they're not scalable. They require our time. We don't understand what we have. We don't understand that this rank and rent machine is so scalable. It is such a perfect business model. It's not completely perfect. It's got its flaws, but it's as close as it comes, that those numbers that you think are crazy are actually achievable. So my word of caution is, don't set your goals too low. Don't think too small, because when you hit the goal that you have right now, and some of you guys probably have the 50,000, the 100,000, the 20, whatever, you're going to hit it. You can hit it. And you're going to sit there and go, why didn't I set that higher? I could have hit 200K in 2020 instead of in 2022. You know what I'm saying? So those are it, guys. Those are the biggest mistakes that I've made. This is somebody, speaking of myself, that's done this. I've been doing this for 6 years. I had that little brief time where I was stupid and tried to build a software company. But if I look at all the mistakes that I made, and I've made a lot of them, guys, I've gone into some really stupid niches. I've hired the wrong people. I've said things to past employees that were good employees I shouldn't have said, and I lost them. I've not done contracts when I should have done contracts. I mean, I've done so many things wrong. Number one mistake I made is not thinking big enough, period. Guys, take it or leave it. You don't have to follow these things. My hope is that somebody will watch this stream today. Somebody will watch this stream tomorrow. Somebody will watch this stream next year. They will use this stream and it will save them thousands and thousands and thousands, and in turn make them millions of dollars. And they will associate my name in this stream with money and with making money. And I will have a fan for life, because I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm going to be doing business for life. I'm going to be doing rank and rent for life. This is the freaking game. So guys, in closing, I just want to recap those one more time. Here's the 5. Number 1, not going all in. So guys, if you are not going all in, please consider this. Please consider the amount of money you're losing by not going all in. Number 2, not focusing on sales. I don't need to say any more on that. Number 3, I had shiny object syndrome within the business. Just because you're not, starting another business in another industry, you can still be having shiny object syndrome within your business. Number 4, not putting the focus on the due diligence, not putting the focus on the niche and the city selection. And number 5, not using other people's money, AKA not focusing on pre-selling. And of course, my bonus, which is my favorite, which is the number 1 mistake that I've made, and I will never make it again, is not thinking big enough. Guys, don't make these mistakes. I made them so you don't have to. I would have given anything to go back to 2016 and be able to watch this stream and know that I was hearing these things from somebody who has actually done it and is doing it, not some has-been, not some whatever that made a couple bucks and now has a program, but somebody that's actually doing it, somebody that's actually in the mud, somebody that's in the trenches, that knows this stuff from experience, not from theory. I would have given everything. So I hope, guys, that this is my only ask. I don't expect anything from you. I don't care. You could be on these live streams for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You don't have to buy anything from me. I don't care. Like, I really, really don't, because I'm not going to sell to everybody, and I'm okay with that. All I ask is that you take whatever it was that you wrote down today, because I'm hoping that you wrote something. Maybe it was something I shared. Maybe it was something that I said that made you think of something else. Whatever that was, go and do it. Go and do it before next week. That's all I ask. I don't need you to leave me a review or recommend my channel, all of that bullshit. Just go do it. Because my goal, and I learned this from Grant Cardone, if you want to keep a customer for life, or you want to keep a fan for life, make them money. My goal with this channel, my goal with this show is very simple, and is to make you guys money. I'll see you next week.